Hey friends, Jake from Rain City Wargaming here. Producer Lily and I just got back from PAX Unplugged in Philly, and one of the things that we brought back, and I want to share with all of you, is this. Halo Flashpoint. This is a, well, not so new, it came out about a year ago, a skirmish game. In, the Halo universe, you get your Spartan minis, your elites, that sort of thing. Some of the newer boxes have brutes and stuff. And we got to do a demo of this game at the convention. It was a ton of fun. It was some pretty unique elements. You moved in cubes, uses D8s for its dice system, a few other things like that. It was a lot of fun. A buddy of mine had recommended it to me, so we went and got the box, and I'm gonna open it up here and we're gonna take a look at what's inside. So just to start, taking a peek at what we're gonna get in there. 2 players, it's a skirmish game. He said that most games, here it says 30 to 90 minutes. They said about like 45 minutes for a casual game, which I really like. I actually missed that. I played a lot of first edition Kill Team where the rounds really were about 45 minutes, and I feel like second and third edition Kill Team takes a little longer, and at that point it's like, I might as well be playing a 40K game. So definitely a nice niche to have a quick game that you could play, which is gonna come with a bunch of Spartan models, some elite models. It comes with the base box, the terrain, a bunch of cards, dice, that sort of thing. So let's get this thing open, take a look. All right, get some of this loud plastic out of here. Come on, oh, it's got that vacuum. Oh, there we go. We got an ad for another game. We have, looks like a little setup guide for how to put together some of that terrain. Looked similar to me to Tinker Turf, though I think this is not made by Tinker Turf, but it's that same style. And then we have our rule book here. Look through that real quick. Some basics, explaining the rules, that sort of thing. Additional rules. My understanding is that in this kit, there's like a base version of the game that's like a little more beginner friendly, takes some of the rules out and then it adds rules as you go, and that there's also some other rules that you add for like getting points for making this a little more competitive as you get other sets and for balance. That said, it was a ton of fun just in the base game, so I'm excited to try this out. That is the rule book. All right, we've got our base board here. So this is like, looks like some card, a little thicker than cardstock, a little thing here. So we've got a big old board mat here, there. And then, yeah, this was the version that I played on to start. You could see here, it's a slightly smaller board for like your starter game. It has indications of like where the terrain is supposed to go. There's little pieces. And it had all these like, rules around the outside, which I actually thought was pretty nice for learning the game, trying to figure it out. I just had quick reference right there. The little smaller field meant that like we were just getting into it a bit quicker to learn the rules. It was actually kind of nice. So that's pretty cool. And then, yeah, the larger board, he said this is the more normal size of game, would be this full size board here. Ooh, oh, this is now this is like actual like thick, like a, like a board game. Like, we got the, folding cardboard dudes, nice and thick. And that looks like that is the same. So this side is the same as that printout. We've got the that terrain with the boxes. And you can see there, that's, that way. That's the same little shape there. And then, this side, we've got this, more metallic, you're in a facility, UNSC facility, got all your things there. And again, you see these little boxes. Everything, all the movement, instead of like pulling out a tape measure, you move a number of cubes. You can move diagonally cubes because, you can also go up, right, if you're up on top of something. But then line of sight is still true line of sight, like from mini, or at least that's what it was, how it was explained in the demo. So where you stop in the cube matters, where the terrain is. There was these little pieces there. I feel like a good balance of not being too fiddly. I know with like some skirmish games, it can come really down, like, did I move an inch or an inch and a half? Which matters a whole lot more in a skirmish. It matters in 40K as well, but it matters more in a skirmish game where the distances are smaller. Here, having your movement be in cubes, so you really can't mess that up, and then you just stop anywhere in the cube, I think takes away some of that fiddliness, but still gives you a lot of that, precision of like, I want to be here in the terrain where I can just barely see that or get this bit of cover. We'll see how it plays, but it seemed like a nice addition. Next up, okay, yeah, this is all that terrain. So It looks like these guys pop out here. I don't like plastic. I should have brought a sharp thing or, yeah. But yeah, it looks like these, this is for the terrain. These little dudes pop out of here and then we could assemble it. Get that open in a little bit later. And then the box. Oh, okay, that's actually nice. So here, I don't know how much glare, but we'll set that down there. That looks like a nice addition, actually. There's, containers for the stuff. I'm guessing when we break down all these pieces, they'll fit nice and neatly in there, which is good because, the whole point of terrain that you can take apart and flatten, right? You can store flat. Some little capture the flags. I think it's a little helmet on the top. Yeah, a skull in there? Ooh. Like an ODST helmet with a skull in there. So yeah, it does have, my understanding is it has a bunch of the game modes from the game. So the game we were playing was Slayer, and so it was like, just like the video game, you like respawned after, and it was just counting number of kills. A lot of the game modes in Halo are a ton of fun. I think someone mentioned there's Oddball in here. There's obviously Capture the Flag. It's back here, let's go ahead and set down out of the way over here. Beep. The flags went flying. This guy out of here. Oh, don't eat that. We've got the actual minis. Nice. Oh, this is pretty cool. They're actually all cut to fit, so you gotta know which mini goes where. So yeah, it looks like we've got, if you just wanna play right out the box, you've already got, they're using red and blue plastic, which is pretty nice. So you can, quickly tell apart your Spartans. Classic red versus blue. I mean, that's, we've got cards here. Let's go ahead and open these up. For the different Spartans. So, looks like this is a bunch of Spartan Mark 7, Spartan Brawler. I think it's like there's 2 of each, because right, you have the red team and the blue team, so you can have your reference. And then it looks like we've got a couple of elites. Sanghili Mercenary. Yeah, and different, plasma rifle, needler, energy sword. We've got special orders as well. So the Spartans have a special order, and the Sanghili Mercenaries have a special order, and then a reference for the various item tokens. And then the items, this was cool too. So when we were playing, there was an energy sword token in the middle, and if you got to it, you could pick it up, and then you had the sword. Same for one of the guns, I forget which one we had. And so there was a little card, a reference card that you had for the weapons there. Hold that here. So we got 2 for the battle rifle and the sniper rifle, a grav hammer, the rocket launcher, the Hydra. There it is, the sword. We have a carbine, focus rifle, fuel rod gun, shock rifle. That was one of the cool things too, is like, right, so like, I grew up playing the Halo games in, middle school and high school, still play them from time to time. It's fun because I already have a reference for like, yeah, this is what a battle rifle, what a BR should feel like, or this is what, this is the grav hammer, I'm gonna go grab it, And so just, getting to play that on the tabletop is pretty cool. We got some cool custom dice here. Let's check those out next. I have no idea what these are. These weren't in our demo game, but they look pretty cool. Roll some of those. We've got an explosion shape. That's like God, my Halo knowledge is gonna be tested here. The chip that Cortana is on that he like sticks in the back of his head, that's what that shape is. We've got the double swords here. We've got the Spartan helmet. We've got a little upgrade thing. And a little like diamond thing. I'm sure this is a reference to something actually that I'm not remembering, and the comments will be mad and they'll tell me they know what it is. And then yeah, as I was saying, the main dice that you play with are D8s instead of D6s, as with a lot of other, particularly GW games, really love their D6s. You would start with some number of dice for the thing you're doing, and you might gain or lose some dice based on, so like when you're shooting into a combat. In the case of, let's look at this Spartan Mark 7 here. He's looking for, he has a ranged and a close combat number, and so you're rolling and looking for, in this case, it looks like 4 ups, 8s are crits, and then your opponent has some number of defense dice, and they're rolling, and they may get some bonuses, and then those attacks and defense cancel out. It was a pretty quick dice resolution mechanic. It wasn't too bad for rolling dice and re-rolling dice and whatever. 1 or 2 attacks would usually kill someone, much like in Halo, right? Like you drop the shields and then you get them. There's a whole shield mechanic and everything too. All right, last but certainly not least, let's take a little closer look at some of these minis. That's super cool. So here, this is an elite with the energy sword. That'll be a ton of fun to paint actually, trying to get that like glowing effect on the sword. Looks like there's a good amount of detail in here. This looks like the paint. The scale's a little bigger than 40K, I think, right? Like this, so while Spartans are like genetically engineered super soldiers, they're not like crazy bigger than a normal sized human in the games. Unlike, Space Marines are supposed to be like, way taller than a like guardsman. These are a little bigger than a Space Marine mini, I think. A little slimmer. Space Marines in 40K are chonky. Here, let me go grab a Space Marine. I'll be right back. Some Space Marines for reference. So let's start with the Firstborn. Definitely bigger scale than a Firstborn Marine, which is nice. Firstborn guys are a little small these days to paint. Comparing to like a Primaris Marine, looks, like a little taller but a little thinner. So probably about the same. Nice scale. They'll be not too difficult to paint. I am a sisters painter. I've painted lots of very fine detail, but recently when I was painting the Triumph of St. Dinos, check that out in the link somewhere around here, I had a moment of, wow, like these are so much easier to paint. And I was like, oh right, they're Space Marines, they're way bigger. So it's nice to scale up a little bit and not have to be working in such fine detail. Speaking of the Triumph of St. Dinos, the Grand Narrative 2025 video is coming soon. If you want to get a notification when that comes out, go down there, click like, click subscribe, click the bell. Coming soon, I promise. Here we can look at a few more of these guys. Got a little plasma pistol. No, the pistol's the green one. This is the, you guys are gonna be so mad at me. Like we got a guy with a needler here. I'm a big fan of the needler. It's a really fun gun. So we'll definitely enjoy painting that one up. Let's grab a few more Spartans. This one of the red ones. I was looking at the level of detail here. There's some pretty fine detail, but they do look a little more like when you resin print a mini, in the sense of some of that, like the glossiness and the way the details get a little rounded. Like there's not a lot of sharpness. There's a lot of fine detail, but it's not very sharp. I think it'll read absolutely fine on the tabletop, but it's just and it's quite glossy at its base. So maybe these were resin printed. I don't know. Let's see if the box says. It just says models, doesn't say. Well, yeah, they also, notably, they're all one piece, right? They're not like plastic injection molded and then you gotta clip them out and assemble them. They're all ready to go, which is good and bad, right? Like it means less customizability for if you wanted to pose them or anything like that. But even a lot of modern minis, you don't have a lot of variety in how you get to pose them anyway. Here, let's get this open so we can actually throw this in the middle there. There we go. So, a bunch of these boards. So yeah, lots of different parts and pieces here. So, this is terrain. So here, let's punch one of these out. Careful on the edges with these things, Oh, that's pretty cool. They're two-sided. So if you do like the box open on the side, or I guess if you could assemble it either way, if you want a blue box or a gray box. Yeah, look at it, the whole thing is two-sided. That's awesome. These, I'm assuming, just go together. I should, check the instructions. Producer Lily would tell me to go read the directions. But yeah, look, it just slides in like that. Went together quick. It's got a nice tight fit. Yeah, and it'll stand up there. That's pretty slick. And feels decently sturdy. Some number of these, I wouldn't, necessarily put them together and take them apart all the time. Maybe leave some of them assembled because, those, it is cardboard. Like that'll wear over time. And then we also have, it looks like a whole bunch of different tokens and things. So yeah, that's what we've got. We've got the minis. We've got a bunch of fun dice. We've got the cards, rulebook, assembly, these terrain pieces, 2 different boards, one with the extra rules on it, one that's actual proper board game, board material. If you want to see a little more Halo Flashpoint stuff in the channel, comment, let us know. We can do some painting videos. We can get Garrett in here and make him play Halo with me and see how he likes it. Yeah, I'm excited to try this out. It seems like a fun skirmish game. I really enjoyed the demo. And I've always been a big fan of Halo. It's a fun franchise. A lot of nostalgia in it for me. Then we will slide that in. Layer for that, which is this one. If we popped all this stuff out, it would tuck in neatly like that. All the little tokens can go in here. I'm just gonna put these, that. We have our instruction booklets and everything. And last but not least, the lid. So yeah, there we go. That is Halo Flashpoint from Mantic. I'm very excited to check that out. That's all I got. Bye-bye now. If you're a fan of skirmish games, you want to watch another video, you should check out the Kill Team stream we did a couple months ago. We had Matt and Sabrina on the channel. They're fantastic. They run our Kill Team community here in Seattle, and it's a really great time.